the trading month of September 2025 is in the books, officially done and over with. And looking back at the month, I'm going to give myself a C for a grade. Um, I traded 11 days. I took 10 days off. That was a little more than I wanted to. Usually I take 1, maybe 2 days a week off. And in September, there was a couple weeks where I took an extra day a week off. So that is what it is. There were a couple big red days I had, particularly on the 9th and the 10th. These days, back then I was trading with 10 shares, and I doubled down on a bad trade. I don't know, 5 or 6 times probably. Just doubled down and doubled down and doubled down and doubled down and doubled down. And I ended up losing my ass on those 2 days. I lost almost $500 on these 2 days, starting off with 10 shares, which should have been, 50 cents or $1 worth of my account. So take those days away, and the month looks a little better. On the month, I averaged 71% accuracy on my trading. My average winner was 17 cents. My average loser was 13 cents. And I had some pretty good losers. On these 2 days where I went big time red, $1.40 and $1.48 were my losers, my big losers on that day. And there's another day, there was a couple Mondays I had a 51-cent loser on the 15th. I had $1.09 on the 22nd. And those are trades that I got to get better at not sitting on so long. There's no excuse for it. Just get out. There's no reason to sit on a trade until I'm down 40, 50 cents, $1.48. That's just wild for my brain to think that I did that to myself. That being said, I did finish the month with $29.35 worth of profit ratio, which is pretty good. Out of 11 days to still manage almost $30 worth of profit ratio, it's hard to complain about that. There at the end of the month, I took most of the money out of my account. I dropped my cash account on Webull down to $300, and I'm going to be putting the rest of my account into an offshore broker in October and starting to trade offshore so I can trade behind the PDT rule. And I'll stay there until either I blow up my account or until the PDT rule gets changed and I can go back to a United States-based broker again. That being said, I started trading with 1 share instead of, sometimes I was doing 5, sometimes I was doing 10, sometimes I was doing 20. So the P&Ls are kind of wild. I started trading with 1 share, I think it was on this Tuesday, and that's kind of where my P&L on my account kind of just goes from. It might have been that Friday. No, because I lost $14 here, so it must have been this Tuesday. It goes from, in the teens or the 20s or 30s. This day I lost almost 400. This day I lost over 100, down to $1.80, 44 cents. Things like that. So that changed the way my account was going or growing. But either way, October is going to be a new month. I'm not too, September's done. I wish I would have done a little better. I know I could have done much worse. So if this is kind of my bottom, my base, if you will, I'm not too ashamed of that. I know I can work and get better at cleaning up these losers, and that will change the entire outlook of the week or month. So, that's going to be kind of my focus in October, and especially once I get to trading under the PDT rule in that offshore broker, I'm going to really have to be strict about cutting my losers. There's no sense in sitting on a loser when I can just get back into a trade, with no repercussion. This cash account it kind of restricts you in your brain as far as how many times you can trade. So getting used to that freedom and getting used to getting out of losers even quicker. I do a really good job, I would say, 4 out of the 5 days I trade, but that one day a week can really mess up the whole week. So I'm gonna focus on doing better there, which I think I will, and just hope for a strong October.